Happy Halloween, everyone. Today we're going to have a scary, spooky video. And there's absolutely nothing spookier or scarier than playing OU right now. We're going to try to lead off with maybe Zapdos against my opponent. They could lead off with their Ogre Pawn with Sturdy, or their Empoleon, predicting my Iron Treads maybe? They could lead off with Gliscor as well. If they lead off with Gliscor, I almost want to lead off with Gloking. Maybe I'll lead off with Gloking instead, as that actually is not the worst lead matchup I could have gotten. Here, I'm just going to throw off a Future Sight to go off into Empoleon, which is good. So now I can Chilly Reception, and the Future Sight gives me a decent positioning, I think, because here I can go into Iron Treads and just throw off an Earthquake. And they can go into their Gliscor if they want, but they'll be taking the Future Sight, and they can go into Wheezing, but that's likewise going to have an issue. Okay, Greninja comes out, that makes a lot of sense. Here I'm going to go into Tinglu, probably. Tinglu might be nice for Valiant and Empoleon. We are Spadef. And they just kill themselves to Life Orb, so that's okay. I don't want to go into my Ogre Pawn because they wouldn't have died anyway. I'm not going to outspeed them. Then they can just U-turn or do whatever they want. Here I'm actually going to set up my own Stealth Rock. I don't care if they burn me or whatever, and they're not going to kill me with that. They actually do confuse me. We wanted to get Stealth Rock up because that can make the difference in some damage rolls. And it also forces them to get off their own Stealth Rock if that's how they want to play it. Here I'm going to just Chilly straight out because I know that that's the play they want to make. And here I will go into Zapdos. What do I want to go into? I have so many things on my team that threaten them. I'm going to go into my Iron Treads, and I'm going to click the knock off. I don't think you want to stay in here. You could go into Gliscor, or you could go back into your Wheezing. I think that makes a lot of sense. So they're leftovers. They could be getting recovery off of Pain Split or whatever, as they choose to Flamethrower, which doesn't do any damage, but then they burn me, which is unfortunate. I'll just Future Sight again, and then we can Chilly Reception out. And then here we go into Iron Treads. And once again, they're forced to choose who to go into. They may stay in this time, so I will just Earthquake. As they go for the Surf. Oh, wow, so they're red card? I was super confused as to what happened there. So my opponent was red card Empoleon. My Zapdos comes out, which I will take. That's not that bad. Here I will just go into my Tinglu. And here we will click Ruination. Bit crazy of them to go for that, but I suppose I didn't really have any good switch-ins. Here I'm going to go into Iron Valiant, and I will click Destiny Bond. Which, apparently that did not work out for me. That's unfortunate. Okay. Okay, that's rough, man. What are we doing here? Go Zapdos. I don't think I need that. And then here I'm gonna Close Combat because it's like really obvious that I could Psyshock. Psyshock is the best neutral play. Yep. Except for it didn't even to a KO. Okay, so my opponent makes a choke there. I choke a bit as well. They don't think that I'm going to that I'm locked in to Psyshock, and so they think I'm going to Close Combat or I'm going to Destiny Bond or whatever. And I guess that I don't have Close Combat. If I had gone for Close Combat, then they could have gone into Gliscor or into their Wheezing, right? This is a speed tie. Let us all witness that. And I actually get the crit, so we get out lucky there. That's fantastic. Here, I can actually save this if I really want to, or the wheezing. And part of me says I sort of want to. So they go for spikes there. I'm going to encore them there first. Gonna encore them here. And now they're locked in and I can just SD up. I want to see how much this does at +2. Ogre Pawn against wheezing. Oh, you defensive at +2 attack. If I terrestrialize, Ivy Cudgel kills. All right. So I got a bit lucky there with the speed tie. I'm not gonna lie, and I don't know if that crit mattered or not. It may have, because I wasn't terrestrialized. But I was gonna go into my Slowking after that anyway. And the Gliscor was not gonna win the match. I have Ice Spinner, I have Ice Beam, and if I got a Rapid Spin off, I also have Destiny Bond, Iron Valiant, and other things I can do. But I think they definitely choked into my choke. I played it to condition them such that they would go for the Swords Dance when I went back in. I could have two-shot them with close combat, but I didn't want them to go into their wheezing or into their Gliscor off after I close combat once, right? Or even into their own Iron Valiant. So I go for Psyshock. If I had gone for the Terra Psyshock, then it would have been a 2-hit KO, I think. Maybe not. But the problem there, if I do that, is that if they do kill me, then I wasted my Terra and they're not dead, right? And I don't want to be in that position. But because they went for 2 Swords Dances, continuously predicting me not to Destiny Bond or something, I don't know what they were trying to do there. I got bailed out, so that was really lucky. Okay, here, I'm going to lead off with my Iron Valiant, because they could lead off with their Samurott. They could lead off... Actually, you know what? I'm going to lead off with my Zapdos. That's a much better position. Because they have to risk a pair here. You know? And I'm going to just Volt Switch into what I expect to be Garg. Yep, and it is. Here, I can just go into my Iron Treads. But knock off and get some progress. They could Terra and Salt Cure. Or they could just Salt Cure by itself. I don't know if I like that play, but it's the play they went for. So we'll have to hold that. I'm going to switch now as they actually just recover. And I'm going to set up Stealth Rock. And now, what do we want to do? Now I'm going to go into Slowking because I have Regenerator, so I don't really care what they want to do here. I'm going to Future Sight into Chilly Reception. Right, because that Salt Cure doesn't do anything for them. So we've gotten up Stealth Rock on my side of the field, and I'll just Regenerator all this off. And at this point, I can just go for an Earthquake. I have leftovers. And that does really not work out for my opponent, I don't think. Here, I can just click Knock Off again, and that'll KO their Garg. So Garg did a bit of annoying things here, but not the end of the world. We'll go Zapdos here always. If they get the static, then we'll be lucky, as they do not. I still outspeed the Great Tusk. I'm just going to click Hurricane and kill them. That's easy enough. I love Zapdos for that, man. It's a fantastic Pokemon. Now here's where we have to not choke. I have Scarf Iron Valiant, but I want to keep it for the Sneasler. So I'd rather not choke here. I'm going to go into my Ogre Pawn, because now we get to Encore. And that's why we have Encore on this set, because we don't want to lose to this nonsense. And now I'll just click the Ivy Cudgel in case they go Sneasler, because Sneasler is more of an issue to this guy than Samurott is. If they go Samurott, that's totally fine. And if they go into Iron Valiant, I'm going to go Glowking. And we will just Sludge Bomb here. Actually, I'm going to Future Sight here. And they get an unfortunate crit. At this point, I don't need my Ting Lu. So I'll just sack it. I mean, I guess Ting Lu is sort of nice so that I don't lose to the Cresselia. But I'm not too concerned. I have Psyshock. And here I will actually just stay in and not let them get off a free Ceaseless Edge. Now we'll go Zapdos because we will outspeed unless this is Choice Scarfed. I'll just click Volt Switch again. And at this point, I'm going to go into Glow King. Just get some regen back, you know. Want to keep this healthy. I'll Chilly out because I don't care what they go for here. Always go Ogre Pawn here. And last time I showed Encore, so I'm actually going to go for the Ivy Cudgel here. A bit of a risky play, but I didn't necessarily need to make that play, but it just sped up the end game. So that's fine. And now we're facing another Ogre Pawn, plus a Grassy Core, which is really annoying. So Rillaboom plus Sneasler has been really popular for obvious reasons. You get the grassy terrain up, and Sneasler just gets to have double speed plus 1 defense super easily, no problem, no questions asked. Gonna lead off with Zapdos. Leads well, favorably into just about everything here. They have no ground type on their team, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna go into their Heatran on this. It's like the only thing they can do. And so on this, I can go into my I can go into my Ting Lu. Just pick up my Stealth Rock. I think that's an okay play to do. They do have Cinderace, so I'm not too fussed about that. They actually elect to Terrastalize this, which I will take. Because first of all, that lets me go into Zapdos. I'm just going to Volt Switch on you. I could Roost, but then if they Earth Power, that could be an issue. I could Hurricane, but I don't think that kills. Let me just double check here. Zapdos versus Heatran. OU Spadef. Volt Switch did 20%, which is a max roll on this. And if they Terra Grass, then Hurricane does not kill. Yeah, I didn't think so. So we're just going to Volt Switch here. And I will go into the Ting Lu again. And then I'm just going to click the Ruination to chip them down. Obviously, they have leftovers plus grassy terrain, but it's going to do a decent chunk. And now that I have a bit better position, I don't really know if it's a better position, but I'll tell myself that it is. It'll make myself feel better. And they can't switch it on this, right? You don't want to switch in Cinderace. I am still a ground type at the end of the day. You don't want to... I wonder if they'll taunt here. They should, I think. Yeah. Okay. And now I'm free to switch. So I'm going to go Zapdos here. So they actually do go for Magma Storm there. So I lose my Zapdos, which is actually pretty big. But now... I can go into the Iron Valiant. And I will just click the Moonblast. I think that's really free. And the Moonblast didn't kill. What the heck? They show the Flash Cannon. So that's interesting. Really not happy about that not killing. Okay, Earthquake kills. Let's check the damage on that. Moonblast did 33%. Oh, apparently that is max damage. Should have close combated. That's my bad. Here I'm going to Terra Bug and Ice Spinner. That will get the terrain off the field and will mean that I'm not going to take much from Drain Punch or anything. That prevents them from getting the Sneasler boost. That's the main thing we want to prevent. We'll go Cinderace here. And that's okay with me. Just going to go Ting Lu on the Pyro Ball. And then here, I'm going to double back into the Iron Treads, because they should U-turn. as they do. I don't think this is going to be a win for us. I think that we're pretty much outmatched at this point. But I'll take it. Okay, and I'll power whip myself. I was hoping that they go for Swords Dance there. And that I would be able to win the next speed tie and click Encore. That was not a speed tie. We were both max speed. So they just win all the speed ties, which is unfortunate. But now I can go into Slow King here. And I'm going to Future Sight first. Because those should go into their Golden Go. And if they don't, that's okay too. Then here I'll sack my Tinglu. Glow King again. I don't think it lives Pyro Ball, but maybe it does, you know? Actually go Rillaboom here. And I'll just click the Ice Beam. They do go Golden Go actually on that. Yeah, I'm just gonna forfeit here. Okay. We're facing another cheapo Sneasler Core, but this time with the added wrinkle of a Zoroark, which I guess makes it sort of more interesting. Here I think I will lead off with the Zapdos. Again, because they always lead off with the Rillaboom. And we know that that is what this is. And I will just click the Hurricane here, as they do go Tinglu, which is okay. I'll go into my own now, and I'll get up Stealth Rock. I do suppose this allows them to go into Sneasler if they really want to. As they go into Contrary and Amorous, which is scary. But not too scary, to be honest. 342 speed. Well, Spring does outspeed and should kill. We'll just double check that damage here. In Amorous. Let's say it's a Monotype Contrary Attacker. And a +1 defense. Ivy Cudgel still does 50%. So we'll just go in for that. They could go into their Empoleon or Rillaboom, both of which are good answers to me. Especially Rillaboom. They go Empoleon, which actually is not that great of an answer because it gets crit. So now I get to power whip it. I don't know if that crit mattered. It may have. We'll just pretend it didn't. They go Rillaboom. We'll Zapdos here always, because they should go for the Terra. Or not the Terra, the U-turn into their Sneasler. But if not, that's okay. I'm actually going to throw off a random Heat Wave here, in case I can get the burn on the Tinglu, which we cannot, unfortunately. What do we do here now? Well, we know this is Tinglu. This is not Zoroark or anything like that. I'm going to Hurricane to see what kind of set they are. They are Whirlwind. Okay, that's what I was hoping for. And now I'm going to Ice Spinner here. Get rid of the terrain. If they Earthquake, that will be sad for me. But they just Ruination, so that's okay. Now I'll go back into Zapdos on the Earthquake. And now I'll just throw off Hurricane or two, because they can't touch me. And they can Ruinate, but that's all they can do. So back into Zapdos again. I sort of wish I had gone for Knockoff maybe over the Ice Spinner. Okay, so my opponent didn't want to play that game. And I guess they felt they couldn't break the Zapdos. They just had to get one Roost turn play right, but I guess they didn't know which Roost play that would be. Clearly they tried to Earthquake that last turn, predicting my Roost, and then I didn't go for it, and so they felt that it was going to be too annoying to break my Zapdos. As we saw in the last game, if my opponent had played around the Zapdos a bit more and had KO'd it, I think the Sneasler definitely could have won in the endgame. Alright, here we're going to lead Iron Treads always, because they have Glamora, and that guy's annoying. If they go with Dragapult lead, that's okay. And if they go with the Rillaboom, we just go into Zapdos as the Woodhammer. I'll Hurricane here just in case they decide to play a bit reckless and stay in a Woodhammer again on my Roost. I really don't think you should ever make that play, but you never know how these guys are going to play. I'll just Volt Switch here into my Iron Treads as they actually Power Gem, which is great for me. Here I'm going to go for the Ice Spinner, as that play does not work out for me. And here I will go into the Slowking, because, well, they went for Energy Ball. I was going to go back into Zapdos, but, you know, I'll take that too. The Future Sight here, and then I will go into Tinglu and set up my Stealth Rock, the Immortal Spin, which is okay. But they died a Future Sight, and I got my rocks up. So that's good for me. At this point, do I need my Iron Treads? That's less useful. I want to just sack that here to Woodhammer. And then I showed that I'm not going to Roost last time, so I don't think you'd stay in this time. But now I need to get the Roost off, because I need to keep this healthy, you know? Okay. So here we go into the Slowking as they go for Agility. That's scary as all heck. And they go for that. So we will Future Sight into the Sludge Bomb. And we're just sacking this at this point. Right? We're just sacking this. And here I'll go into Tinglu. And I will click the Ruination, because that does the most damage. Okay. And now we've got to hope that we live with the Zapdos and we click Hurricane. Because I don't think that the Volt Switch will kill. So that's the rare Bait Gliscor with Agility and SD. Was not expecting that, but it is what it is. Okay. At this point, Moonblast does put in good work. I'm gonna sack Ogerpon to Shadow Ball. I could Terra here. I feel like you should respect that, but they may not. Ivy Cudgel. Yeah, they don't respect that. So I'm going to just click the Moonblast. I am Choice Scarf, so that'll kill this. It'll kill their Iron Valiant if they choose to go into it. King Gambit probably should not come in on me, as we're going for the Speed Tie, which is what this would always come down to anyway. So I'm okay with that. As they go King Gambit, so we have to go to Zapdos now. And we have to close combat, which is unfortunate. I wish I had one more sack. If I had one more sack, I think we would win this game. Well, apparently close combat didn't even kill. If I'd been Terra Fighting, we would have won. Unfort. Let's change that real fast in the Team Builder. I was Terra Psychic because figure give your Psyshock a boost. It's really weak otherwise. But if we'd been Terra Fighting, we would have won that one. Okay. This is an annoying team, but I would also say it's a pretty standard team, pretty indicative of what you're getting in OU nowadays, which is not fun. I'll lead off with Iron Valiant, because I feel like this is the kind of guy to lead off with Dragapult, see that they outspeed, and then just click the U-turn. So if I can get a quick turn 1 KO, that'd be great. My opponent is smart enough to switch, so good on them. We're playing it out that way. Then we're going to go Tinglu. They may have They don't have trick because they're leftovers. So that's okay. Will-O-Wisp maybe out coming out here. I'm gonna go Zapdos because I don't care if that gets burned. And I can always get the pair on them. We do not get the pair on them, but that's just how that goes. Bring out the Tinglu again. They go Draco Meteor. And I will just go for the Earthquake. Ogerpon comes out. That makes a lot of sense. This team is actually really Ogerpon weak now that I'm looking at it. Go Zapdos here. And then do I need my own Ogerpon? Not as much. So now we just have to risk the speed tie. As we do not get the speed tie. Destiny Bond time. Okay, we got it. Not great, because we lost all our fast guys. But it is what it is. Okay, I'm going to go into my Slowking here. And I will just click the Chilly Reception. And then we will go into Tinglu. Get up the Stealth Rock. That's okay. I'll just Earthquake. And get up the Stealth Rock again. Pretty obvious that they're going to Court Change there. So we got off some chip on the Cinderace, which is good. Okay. So here we Earthquake. And then I'll Ruinate. In case they decide to recover. As they make a rain, and that takes me out. But I always outspeed any version of Golden Go. And let's just double check this damage here. Iron Treads versus Golden Go. Let's say that the Nasty Plot set. My knockoff would do 69% minimum. So I'm going to go for knockoff here. That does not work out for me. Okay. Alright, so now we've fallen down to into the 1600s. Don't know how that happens. Feel like after a string of losses, I shouldn't be facing somebody with more points than me. But you never know what the ladder's going to give you. Here, I'm going to lead off with Iron Valiant. Looking at their team, they're very fairy weak. They only really have Weezing. And to lead off with the Sneasler, I can Psyshock that. Either they'll U-turn out, or they'll just go hard into Weezing, and the Psyshock will get off a minimal amount of damage. If they lead off with a Focus Sash and Mamoswine, then that's unfortunate. But on the other hand, Mamoswine really messes this team up. So I almost just want to Moonblast this twice and get it out of the way. And I shouldn't die to any one hit, I don't think. Unless they're like Bandit, Earthquake, or something. They go for Earthquake. I'm actually going to go Ogerpon here, because I need to keep that around. I didn't want to die to Ice Shard. Now I can just Ivy Cudgel. We took a lot of chip on our fast guys. But like I said before, we are very weak to the Mamoswine on this team. And we have to keep our Scarfire and Val around. I think that was Focus Sash lead. If that was Focus Sash lead, then they won't get Rocks up, which is really quite favorable. Not that this team particularly cares about rocks. We have Bootsmons and we've got Iron Treads who resists and has leftovers. An Iron Valiant who resists and doesn't care about his HP. But it still is annoying. I'm not sure how I feel about Tinglu as a Dark Resist. I think it's not bad, but I would like maybe Mandibuzz on this team. I just don't want my one electric immunity to be weak to fire, because Zapdos is pretty useful and can Heat Wave Iron Treads. So Tinglu is not a bad option. It's just that this is a pretty Ogerpon weak team, as we've seen. I think if Ivy Cudgel did make contact, then Ogerpon would be a little more balanced, because then it could get static paired by Zapdos. The fact that you can just +2 up, outspeed all the Zapdos, unless they're max speed timid, and then it's a speed tie, I'm pretty sure. No, it's not even a speed tie. Yeah, I used outspeed. It's pretty crazy to me. Okay. Here we go into Slowking. No reason not to. There's actually Memento, which is interesting. Also, the Misty Terrain also, I didn't even comment on that. That means they're probably Sneasler Misty Seed, which is cute. Yep, that's what they are. I'm gonna Future Sight into Chilly Reception. And at least at the moment, I match up pretty well into them in terms of typing. So they are the ghost variety. They can be ghost, they can be dark. But the ghost is unfortunate for them, I think. Let's see, Sneasler. At +2. I don't think I'll die. I'll just go for Volt Switch. I will die to Gunk Shot. So that is a problem. Here we're going to go into Iron Treads and we'll just Terra Bug and knock off. Terra Bug is on this specifically for moments like that. Because now I resist the fighting moves that were coming out at me. And also I was resist ground. So fighting and ground. I'm still weak to fire, which is unfortunate. But we're bug on this team specifically for fighting types like Sneasler and ground types like Gliscor. Because Gliscor is not going to Toxic you. They're going to Earthquake you. And then you can resist into a KO with Ice Spinner. That's the idea. So we get out of that situation. And we still have our Scarf Iron Val on deck for these guys. And they don't like that. But it's still rough going. So we'll have to see if we can get a dub here. Very fun team on my opponent's part. It's very unique. I like Glaring Wheezing every time I see it. I think it's a pretty honest Pokemon, even if the way they're using it is pretty whack. Sneasler is a dishonest Pokemon, but you gotta have some cheap mons in OU at the moment because OU is nothing but cheap mons. All the gimmick mons with the gimmick abilities and the gimmick moves, those are the guys that rule the roost right now. I'm gonna click the Ogerpon. Damn. Encore. In case they decide to set up with a nasty plot too. But they did not, which is okay. And if they are 306, then they will outspeed me. So I've got to go Tinglu and hit Stone Edge twice. As we miss one. Now time to get confused by Hurricane and Two-Shot. Okay. That was not a crit. So if I get a crit, we'll be okay. Fortunately, they did not. Okay, they got the miss there again. Alright, we're not going out sad like that. That was a really annoying end where I just got haxed. But we're going to face, I think we faced this guy before. Now we got to face them again. That's annoying. Gonna lead off with my Iron Treads this time. I'm just gonna click Knock Off on you. They decided to go for Fire Blast right off the bat. I'll go Ogerpon here. And I'm going to click the SD up to go their own. And it's a speed tie now. They won the previous two. So we'll see how that goes for them. I'll just Ivy Cudgel now. Like, what the heck, dude? And now we're facing Sun. I'm gonna lead off with the Iron Treads again, in case they decide to lead off with their Gliscor. I don't know if they would, but they might. Need to keep my Ogerpon healthy in the back. For this month specifically. We're not having that nonsense. Maybe it was just Ivy Cudgel. Because that makes sense. Fine, I'll just power up you now. Well, I needed to keep it around for that Mon. But then I decided to sack it. I'll take that. We go back into Iron Treads. We click knock off first. And then they don't get their Toxic Orb. And now we click Ice Spinner and we kill them. Or just about. So, I don't know. I guess the game took pity on us. Or Showdown took pity on us. Because we got enough guys that were problematic. To the point where the game is like, here, just have a button masher. And so we got a button masher. Which is good. So now we'll just volt switch out on the Torkoal and their sun is gone. So now what we do is we go Glow King. That forces in Great Tusk. Or at least should force in Great Tusk. We will go for the Future Sight. And then we go Tinglu here. A couple times. And then they go for the Energy Ball. But at this point, we can just go into Iron Valiant. And now that they have gone... Let's just check this damage. Iron Moth, sub 3 attacks. Or actually, it's booster energy. Because it doesn't really matter, right? It's all the same. But if they're Terra Grass, I suppose we don't. Oh no, we saw that they were booster energy. Yeah, because they're in the sun. That's right. That's right. Close combat is gonna kill, and Moonblast does not kill. So I guess it's a good thing we checked that damage. We'll just close combat you here. They are booster speed. They don't see booster speed on me. They may think they outspeed. They do not. We always go Clefable on this. They could like trick Sticky Barb or something equally annoying. But that doesn't really matter to us. Fortunately, we got off the Future Sight. So now we will just continue to Sludge Bomb. Future Sight. There. Okay, Future Sight killed that. So here we're going to go into Zapdos. Now we'll just click Hurricane. As we saw before, that just kills. Okay, a bit of a rough live there in the middle. Fortunately, we got some guy who doesn't know how to play the game at the end there. So we got some of our points back. But man, I don't think the Iron Treads is bad. But I would like to see this set put in more work against what it's meant to. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to position it to get the spin-off when I needed to. I think this set is fine. It just needs maybe a better team, better player. But definitely I think this Iron Treads is useful in the current metagame. Maybe I'll get rid of Ogre Pawn on this and put something that's anti-Ogre Pawn. That could be better. But that'll be it for today's video. I'll catch you guys next time.